4.4 proportions and scale. I can solve using scale factors and scale drawing.
Cool. So if I give you a scale factor, can you solve using scale factors for actuals?
Yes.
If I give you a drawing of something, which I didn't really actually do this in the notes, but could you solve using a drawing?
Yes.
As long as you have the scale factor, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, so a scale factor is the relationship between an actual and a representation. So if I say, like on a map, 1 inch is 10 feet, what is the representation, everybody?
1 inch.
What is the actual?
10 feet.
Okay. Sliding down here, a scale drawing would actually be a drawing then with the scale factor attached to it. And we use scale drawings for things like if we want to build a skyscraper, do you actually have to have a plan in place beforehand?
Yeah.
So you would draw something up, or you would build like a smaller version of that skyscraper. My house, the person who built my house showed me a picture with a scale factor of what my house would look like on paper. So I could determine like how big it was going to be, even though it wasn't the actual size. And you could do it in reverse too. If you have really, really super tiny small things like an atom, where we want to blow them up so we can actually see them in real life. Yes, and that's what a magnifying glass does as well. Magnifying glass is actually, not a magnifying glass, a microscope. They actually come with like the scale factor attached to it. Like for every like 1 square centimeter, it's blown up by 1,000 times or whatever it might be. I'm not quite sure how they label them, but they do come with a label on them about how much bigger they make things. All right, calculating with scales. My scale factor for my house was 1 inch represents 5 feet. Everyone say that. 1 inch represents 5 feet.
1 inch represents 5 feet.
So if this is my drawing of my house, and each of these lines represents 1 inch from here, 1 inch between there, and 1 inch between there, how wide is my house?
15 feet.
15 feet. Because 1 inch, this 1 inch represents 5 feet. This 1 inch represents 5 feet. This 1 inch represents 5 feet. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 inches would be 15 feet. Okay? My front door is 1 inch wide. So we knew that the scale factor was, everybody?
5 feet.
The scale factor was?
5 feet.
I'm sorry you're not answering my question. The scale factor was?
5 feet. 1 inch.
John, stop talking. I've asked the same question 3 times. You say the same thing 3 times. The scale factor is, I'm circling it.
1 inch is 5 feet.
1 inch represents 5 feet. We know that my door is how wide on the drawing?
1 inch.
What?
1 inch.
1 inch. So based on that information, can I calculate what x is?
Yes.
Yes, pretty simple. You do your little bubble method. 1 to 1 means you multiply by 1, so we multiply the 5 by 1 as well. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, sliding down here gets a little bit more difficult. My wife wanted a 40-foot high ceiling or roof, whatever you want to call it. So the scale factor, everybody, is what?
1 inch is 5 feet.
And my wife wanted a ceiling that was how high?
40 feet.
So in the drawing, could we calculate how tall it would be in the drawing?
Yes.
Yeah, we use our bubbles. How do you get from 5 to 40?
Times 8.
8. So we multiply the top by 8 as well. So how tall is it going to be in the drawing?
8 inches.
Okay, moving on down. Maps. On a particular map, we said 2 inches represents 55 miles. So what's the scale factor, you guys?
2 inches.
Alexa, I'm up here. Hannah, I'm up here. Again, I've said, on a map, we said 2 inches represents 55 miles. What's the scale factor?
2 inches is 55 miles.
2 inches represents?
55 miles.
So my scale factor is right here. 2 inches represents 55 miles. So on a map, the difference between Eden Prairie and North Dakota is 10 inches. Could I calculate the actual distance? Yes. Use your bubble method again, right? If you are Ben or Cowshake, they said, Mr. Ponder, I don't want you to really use proportions. I'm going to use, what's these called? Ratio tables. So they knew that for every 2 inches, they got 55 miles. And they knew that there was a 10-inch difference between Fargo and Eden Prairie. They knew that to get from 2 to 10, you multiply by 5. So to get from 55 to whatever there, you multiply by
5.
And we came up with the same thing, 275 miles. Questions, comments? We good?
Yeah.